Hey guys, welcome back to the Take the Two podcast, episode 2 with Elijah and Alex. Alex, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good today. How are you?
You're not too bad. Can you explain to the viewers what we're doing today?
So today we're going to be doing a combined 17 of the Broncos and the Dragons. Yeah, we're going to be going through the list, 1 through 17, and the coach as well, giving our thoughts on based on who's the best player and who we'd rather have in our team.
Yeah, so let's get straight into it. For the fullbacks, Reece Walsh up against Tyrell Sloan. Now, Sloan has been amazing this season, been one of the shining lights of the Dragon season, but unfortunately and ultimately, I think we're going to have to give it to Reece Walsh. Alex,
I
thoughts?
think we will too.
I mean,
Um,
he
yeah,
played Origin, even though he didn't play the best. Tarrason's a bit young. In the future, he might be better, but right now, currently, we're gonna have to give it to Reece
Reece Walsh. Both of
Walsh.
us have
Okay,
picked.
on the wings, we have Selwyn Cobbo up against Zach Lomax. Now, what are your thoughts on this, Alex?
I think if we're going based off this year. It's a no-brainer for me. Zach Lomax has been the definitively better fullback this season. But if we're going based on potential, I think Selwyn Cobbo would take it.
Yeah, but um, yeah, I think I agree with that. But as you said, you covered it up pretty quickly, pretty easily there. I think we're gonna have to give it to Zach Lomax. Zach Lomax has played Origin. He might play. He's most likely going to be playing Kangaroos and wing Dally and wing of the year, I assume. Um, but yeah,
Just for reference, the arrow will be Elijah's pick, and the
yeah,
tick will be my pick.
yeah.
So we'll both pick the
Um,
same players to start. But if we disagree, then we change picks. We have different picks.
okay, the centers: Peperni Staggs versus Matt Feeney. I think this will be a pretty quick one. I think Matt Feeney's been solid. But ultimately, Tony Stacks has been very, very good.
He's one of the best centers in the competition. I put him easily in my top 10, maybe in my top five. In
Mm,
sacks. I said maybe in my top five.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty no brainer for Tony Staggs for both of us. Next, we
Um,
go on to the second center position. We have
Dean
Dean
Mariner
Mariner,
up against
and
Moses Sully. Um,
this is tough. This
Dean
is
Mar-
tough.
no, I don't really see it. Dean Mariner's been very good, but Moses Sully has been amazing. When he's played, he's a very powerful center. Yeah.
Very big center. Very big center. I think. Yeah, it's close. I think on his day, D Mariner can be very good, but Moses Sully just has the size with the passing ability and the agility that makes him such a good center. So I think I'm gonna go Moses Sully. I think the better host apparently is going Moses Sully as well. We'll currently fit that
Okay,
in.
sorry, I had to go on mute for a second there. Yeah, I
So
think Moses Sully is too powerful and too strong. That for Dean Mariner to handle. So I'm going to um
yeah,
on the wingers, Jesse Arthurs and Christian Pulisic. Now this is Jesse
this
Arthurs has been good, but you might call me biased, but I think Christian Pulisic has been really solid for us. Really, really solid. Um, he's been one of our best. Uh, not going to say one of our best players, but he's definitely up there in terms of um, coming onto the wing position and doing his job. Um, so I have to give it to Christian Tupelotu. What are your thoughts?
um I think Christian Tuipulotu is going to be one of the hardest wingers to stop close to the line in the future. But I think there's more to being a winger than that. I think Jesse Arthur's um, run meters from kicks, his early meters, really efficient, really substantial. In saying that, though, I think in a combined 11, we already have that in Zach Lomax and Reece Walsh. Christian Tuipulotu is a try scoring threat. That's why I'm going to take Christian Tuipulotu.
Easy. Now, the 5/8, we have Kyle Flanagan up against
Ezra,
Ezra.
man.
Yeah. Flanagan's been good this season. He's done the job. He's been surprisingly better than what I and other fans expected. But ultimately, Ezra Man did score a hat trick in the grand final, even though they took the 16-point lead or whatever it was. But I will, I don't know. It's actually because this season, I'll give it to Ezra Man because he's played Origin, so I'll give it to him. Been probably slightly better than Flanagan this year. Would
I
you say
think,
that?
yeah, Ezra Mam with the right halfback is one of the best. Not one of the best. He's a good half 5/8 pick. I think Carl Flanagan has shown signs of being there. He has controlled the teams at times when Ben Hunt isn't there. But I just think based on pure talent and pure threat, that creative ability that Ezra Mam adds with his kicking and running game, too much for Carl Flanagan to go up against.
Yeah. Okay. Up for the halves, the two captains of the squad, Adam Reynolds up against Ben Hunt. Now, Adam Reynolds has been injured a lot of the season, but when he has played, he's been very solid. Um, Ben Hunt, um, he's been really good this year. You know, um, Origin, leading try assists in the comp for him. I just think he's slightly better than Reynolds. What do you think?
Yeah, I reckon Ben Hunt this season, I top top four half this season. I think he's really shown his worth. 32, 33 try assists this season, most in the competition. Incredible half, incredible kicking game, incredible leadership. I think Ben Hunt is the pick here.
Yeah. Okay. For the front row, we'll start with the first prop. Corey Jensen up against Francis Marlowe. Why don't you start off this
Um, oops. This is tough. This is tough. Um, I think this may be my bias coming out. I think Corey Jensen, this back end of the season, has been an amazing prop for the Broncos. I think he averages 130 to 150 meters per game, plays massive minutes, especially when Payne Haas and Pat Carrigan were out due to origin and injury. They were lacking a lot of forwards, and he consistently did his job, played 20 to 25, 30 minutes in his first stint, played 25 minutes in his second stint, went out there, got the job done, ran for a mile most games. And that's why I'm going to give this to Corey Jensen.
one? Oh, okay. Um, I think for the exact same reasoning, I'm gonna have to go the opposite. I think Francis Molo has been outstanding when he has played. His hits, his tackling, and his runs really inspires the forward pack. And you notice when the Dragons do well, he's always firing on all cylinders. This year he's appeared in 22 out of the actually 20. So he's missed one game all season, and that was off suspension, I believe. Um, although he's only scored one try, his impact is um, you can't doubt his impact. It has been amazing. Um, he's very inspiring in terms of his runs. As I said before, I think I'll edge it to Francis Moore. Yeah, so our first disagreement.
First disagreement. Now we're on to the hooker. We've got Billy Walters from the Broncos and Jacob Little from the Dragons. Why don't you start us off, Elijah?
Okay, so I'm not sure if any of you guys watched this episode. I've seen the clips on TikTok and Instagram, but there's a clip going around of me hating on Billy Walters. Now I stand by it 100%. I do not think Billy Walters is good. How he's in the first grade is I still don't think he should be. As I said before, the only reason why he's in the starting 13 is because of his dad. You put him into any other school, he doesn't see any first grade minutes. I just do not rate him. You saw when the grand final, when it mattered the most, he disappeared, just like all the other Broncos players. But I noticed him the most. He disappeared. You need a good hooker in the grand
Hold
final.
up. All the other Broncos players?
Most of them. Obviously, there was some that stood up, but the majority of Broncos did not appear in the grand final. They were ghosts. I used to like Billy Walters, but in the grand final, you need a good hooker, and Billy Walters, the lights were too bright for him, and yeah, I just do not believe he's a good player. On the other hand, Jacob Little has been a top eight hooker this year, even potentially say top five, because this year he's been absolutely outstanding. Little
Wait,
has been one of our
go back,
players.
go back to your point about Billy Walters, the lights being too bright for him.
Yeah,
When was the last time Jacob Little made a grand final?
and that's a fair point. But Billy
That's
Walters, there's
all I'm
no
gonna say is he's been the starting hooker for years now for the Broncos, and he made a grand final with them as a hooker. You don't just make a grand final as a hooker and
yeah,
brush it off.
okay, that's fair enough. But when he did make the grand final, don't act like he did anything special because he didn't. You can make a
Okay,
grand final. Whether you
so
make an
are
impact is a
we
question. And he made
are
no
we
impact. And that's kind of why the Broncos lost the grand final. Not because of him specifically, because players were missing. And Panthers poached on that and clearly destroyed Brisbane. So, yeah.
Luai
Um,
Luai didn't do much in the grand final, did he? Does
yeah,
that
and,
mean
and, and
he's
I
a lesser
agree, but
player?
Lewis already won a few grand finals previously and played well previously. So that's why I give him a pass. Plus, the Panthers won. So you don't focus on that as much.
I I
Um,
don't know. I don't know what you're. I'm still taking
I just,
Jacob, but that point,
I think I'm
that
taking
one
Jacob.
game, one grand final, like
No, but this season as well, he has not been. He's a shadow of himself last season. Last season, I liked him because he was actually very solid. This year, just
he
like the
hasn't
whole
had the
Broncos
freedom.
team,
He hasn't had the
they're
freedom.
just
He doesn't have the leadership. That's all I'm gonna say.
who's this? Jacob Little.
I'll no, I'll take we'll take Jacob Little, but
You said Jacob Little doesn't have the leadership.
no, I was talking about Billy Walters this season.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take it. I think it's pretty simple. Jacob Little's been arguably a top five hooker this comp. He has the IQ of Coruscant and the speed and tenaciousness of Damien Cook. It will be interesting to see next year what happens with him and Cook sharing that number nine role, whether or not he starts or his bench is that's Shane Flanagan's decision. But it'll be interesting to see. It's a good headache to have. Um, okay, Payne Haas versus Jack DeBellin. Now
This
Jack
is
DeBellin,
this is simple.
this is simple, but it's any real fan knows how good Jack DeBellin has been this season. He's been absolutely outstanding for the season, one of his best seasons of his career.
Are you
Um,
taking him?
no, I'm not. I never said that, mate. Never said that.
Oh,
But he's been absolutely outstanding. Therefore, I'm picking Jack DeBella. I'm joking. I'll pick Payne Haas, although
imagine.
um, I got a little bit worried because up until this season and up until about game one of Origin, there was, you know, whispers of whether he can actually stand up in big games. But he's shown that he can, I think. But yeah, I'll take Payne. Payne has been amazing this season, outstanding. Even though Jack Dillon's been
Payne Haas is a
amazing.
no-brainer. If you don't pick Payne Haas, then I don't know. I don't understand the reasoning behind not picking Payne Haas, but some people wouldn't. Some people pick Jack DeBellin, even though he hasn't, really. He's been solid this year. Like he's been very good, but you
Yeah,
know,
the first front row. I think this is.
This is
Oh,
simple. This is simple.
yeah, this is simple. I think I'm taking Leilua. Um,
Leilua?
Picoro's been, yeah,
What?
over Picoro, yes, for sure.
Oh,
Were you going to take Picoro over Leilua? No, 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 no. Picoro's been very good this season. He's been very good. But any real fan who actually watches Dragons games and just NRL in general know how good Leilua has been this season. He missed out on
he's
the
only
first game
really
versus
shown up the past few games though.
but neither have all the Dragons players. Let's be real. And against the Eels at the end, he actually started playing well, Leilua.
Yeah.
So I
I just
disagree
think
with you.
Piakura earned a reserve origin spot at the start of this season. Um he's been playing phenomenally all season, and I just think Luciano Leilua, he hasn't been consistent enough. He's very on
Oh,
off.
that's okay. Okay, Alex. I disagree with that. I think as I said, I think Layla has actually been one of our most consistent players of this season, if anything. Which kind of contradicts what you said, proving to me that you don't really watch Dragons games, but he has been very good. Hasn't really had a bad game. I remember a game against Manly. He was absolutely ripping them left, right, and center. And he's on his day. He's a threat. So Pico is good, but I'm gonna have to go with Leilua. Pretty not comfortably, but I pretty convincingly, yeah, but Leilua.
I I just think Piakura, if I'm making a team right now, I'm picking Piakura.
If I'm making a team, I'm picking Leilua. Leilua's been
Okay.
amazing.
Next one should be
Yeah.
simple then. Here we go on next one.
Jane
Jaden
Saw,
and
yeah,
Jordan Ricky.
Jane Saw. Um,
Yep.
that's pretty simple. Jordan Ricky's
I think
been
we can
very
just skip over
disappointing.
this one. Like, there's no real argument for it.
Jordan Ricky's been very disappointing this season. Be would you agree in saying that?
I don't think he's been disappointing. I just think the system around him has been disappointing.
But also his individual performances has been a
He
massive.
hasn't had the freedom to be in like to do individual things. Like he hasn't had the freedom to, be Jordan Ricky of last year, especially with the lack of halves cohesion throughout the season. I think the chop and change between, Rogers and Jock Madden, and obviously Reynolds and Mam haven't really allowed him to free up that side of
Well,
the ground, that right side. And I
well,
think like Mam
I think
like
I
Mam
don't know.
hasn't really had that, you know, opportunity this season to really take hold of the game. And because when he does, he just shies away, which then doesn't allow Jordan Ricky, Katoni Staggs, Jesse Arthurs, Cobo, whoever's playing on that edge, to really play to their best abilities, which is why a lot of these players we aren't picking, because there hasn't been certainty around this team. Ezra Mam, Adam Reynolds, they haven't. Reynolds has been injured. Mam's been a shadow of himself, and Reece Walsh has been injured. I think that's why we're not picking a lot of these players. If these players had played a full season like they did last year, we'd be picking a lot more of them. We'd be picking, if this was a 2023, we'd be picking Cobbo. We'd be picking Reynolds, most likely.
Yeah, but this we're all saying this in the hindsight. And I'm saying we're saying this now. Like we're all looking at the part, like past. Like we're talking about right now this year. A lot of the Dragons players have been better than the Broncos. So I think for
Yeah,
that
well,
reason, we
exactly.
can't look at the past
But
and
it's
say the
but
because
it's not.
we can cherry pick. We can cherry pick and say like
I
2022
still
for
picked
example.
Jaden
Like I'm
Sewer.
taking.
Are you not forgetting? I just picked Jaden Sewer. I'm just saying a lot
No,
more
I'm
of
just
these
saying.
players would be higher up, or we would pick them because they've just been like they haven't had the ability to be their best self this year.
But then again, I don't you think um a good quality second row should adapt themselves no matter which half they play. You saw Jane Saw when Ben Hunt
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
when
matter.
Ben
It
Hunt
doesn't
was
matter how much
out,
they back
Jesse Marshke.
themselves. It doesn't
Say that
matter how much
again.
they back themselves if they don't get the ball or the play opportunity to back themselves.
You should. I feel like that's more about them. Like you saw when Jane Saw versus the Broncos,
So if Jordan Ricky in training is
Marshke went
being told,
straight in and gave him some possession. I'm not.
If Jordan Ricky is being told in training to not run the ball as much, to get it to his outside backs, what's he going to do in the game?
Yeah, fair point. Um, yeah, I think it's a pretty simple one. Pretty no
I'm still
brainer.
taking Jaden Sewer. I'm just saying
I think Sewell's been
Jordan
amazing.
Ricky just has
Yeah,
been a
he's
shadow
been.
of himself. These players have been a shadow of themselves because of that. Okay.
Um,
Pat
current
Carrigan, Tom Eisenhuth.
um, pretty comfortably Carrigan.
Yeah,
Although Tom Eisenhuth has been very good this season and very underrated, Pat Carrigan has been. He's just done his job.
pretty
Not as
simple.
good as last year, but still does a job.
Carrigan's not been as good as last year.
I think so. Yeah.
Are you looking at the stats only?
No, I've been watching the games that I've watched. Like Carrigan's been very good, but I feel like last year had a little bit more impact. Maybe because of the Broncos team is better, you notice it. Like
Oh my
that
goodness.
it makes them better. What?
You need to watch more in depth of the Broncos games to if you think Carrigan's had a had a worse season this year than he did
I don't
last
think he has a
season.
wor I don't think he has had a way worse season, but I don't. I think he's played a little bit better last season, given that the Broncos were playing good. Maybe the impact of the way I watch the game and it makes him look good when the Broncos are good doing good. But just
Yeah.
off an outsider's perspective, given that the Broncos were doing really well last season, I kind of look at it as Pat Carrigan was doing a tiny bit better last season. But look, this season he's still been very good. Just literally only a point 0.1 worse. Like, not that much.
Okay. Corey Pakes, Hame Sele. I mean,
Uh,
Jesse Marshke.
well, I'm taking Jesse Marsky. You can't. The bench is going to be hard because they don't really get like enough minutes. But Jesse Marsky, when he's played, he's been very good.
Yeah.
He's only played a handful of NRL games, but I, I feel like based off like what I'm going off, I'm Jesse Marsky. You saw against the Broncos and against the Panthers, he stood up and carried the drag. He's got more chemistry to Flanagan than Hunt does, which is why
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too upset in the future when they let go of Hunt, when Hunt retires, because I know we got Marshkin there for the future. But yeah.
Yeah. Xavier Willison or Hame Sele.
Oh, do you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay. Um, Xavier Wilson versus Jaime Sele. I don't know too much about Xavier Wilson. I know he's solid, but I haven't been watching too much of him playing. So I can't really make a thing on that. But Jaime Sele's he's been injured a lot of the season. But he's very on and off Jaime Sele. But what do you have to say? I'll kind of go based on what you
Um,
say.
I think Xavier Willison, he's a bit young. I think talk about this in five years. I think we'll be saying Xavier Willison by far.
Yeah,
190 plus centimeters tall, um, pure specimen of a man. Um, he does play very well, but like I said before, I think if Adam Reynolds had played a full season, he would clear Jaime Sele. It wouldn't be a conversation. So that's why I'm going to pick Xavier Wilson.
I think. I just because of the fact that I don't watch Xavier Wilson, I'll put Jaime Sele just because like I kind of have to.
Okay, Kobe
Xavier
Hetherington, Toby Couchman.
Is Xavier Wilson the one with the headgear?
No, 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 that's Brendan Piacoro.
Oh, that's Brendan Pico. That's right. That's right. Wait, let me type up what Xavier Wilson. Let me
Mate,
make
do you
sure.
not? You
No,
went
I know when you look at him, but
Lula without even knowing who the player was.
no, I think I know. I know him. I'm just making sure. Oh, it's a bloke with the ugly mouth. Okay. Oh,
Okay,
who's that? Wasn't he at the Manly before? Sorry,
what?
was he? What team was he at before?
Who?
Broncos. Wilson. Was he at any other team?
I'm not sure. I don't think we bought him this year.
Um, okay, move on.
Okay, Kobe Hetherington or Toby Couchman,
Uh, I think Toby Couchman has been slightly better. Um, just
or
because
I'm not agreeing with you there.
uh, Toby Couchman has been amazing every single time he's played. he's one of the best tacklers in the Dragon squad. He barely misses any tackles. He's been absolutely outstanding. One of our best forwards when he actually is in the squad, and week in and week out, he always shows up, delivers. Um, he plays like the villain, but he's younger, and I don't. I'm taking.
Kobe Hetherington is one of the most underrated forwards in the competition by
I can
far.
say this. I can say the same thing about Toby Castleman. Nobody gives him enough credit,
But
but
he's been it consistently for the past few years. Like honestly, I don't. He could start at another club. He could start at prop. He could start at lock. He came in as a hooker. He came in as a dummy half. Um, to the Broncos. He played off the bench. He played as a utility. Then he became that bench forward that we had. So I think he's one of the most versatile forwards, um, underrated forwards, maybe in the competition. He runs his heart out. Where if he gets minutes, he gets meters. He tackles consistently. He misses very few tackles. One of the most consistent, bit like a less Liam Martin type player.
yeah, that's fair to say. But I think for the exact same reason that you said about Kobe Hetherington, I give it to Toby Castle. Everything that you said applies to Toby Castle, but obviously we have a different thing, so there'll be another disagreement there.
Yeah.
The last
One
one,
one.
Benjamin Takura versus Ryan Couchman. Now, Ryan Couchman and Toby Couchman are basically the exact same players because they are twins and they play exactly the same way. Tell me a little bit about Ben Takura.
Bentakora is like 6'9". He's 18 years old and he destroys like whatever he walks into. Um, I if we yet again, if we talk about this in 5 years' time, it's Bentakora all the way. I Ryan Couchman will never catch Bentakora once Bentakora gets ahead. Um,
How many
I'm going
games
to
has he
pick
played, Ben
Bentakora.
Takura? Because he only made his debut, I think it was against the Storm, and he scored
Yeah,
in one of the last minutes of the game.
he played 25 minutes and had 120 meters and a try. Like
How many games has he played this season? Do you know?
he's played two.
Two. So yeah,
But against a Storm forward pack like that, 100 meters in 20 minutes plus a try, like
so let
as
me
an
just
18-year-old,
I want to compare that to Ryan Couchman's stats against the Storm.
I
I
just
want to
don't. You
compare
can't
that.
go past Bentakora.
So you're going to pick Ben Takura that's played two games. I feel like you're not
I,
really going based off anything except for that one performance because he's only played two games. Um,
yeah, but you're also looking at the Queensland Cup. He did get injured for a little bit, but
you can't pick it in a row, um, combined 17 and pick a fringe first grader that played in reserve grade the whole year.
I just think he's NRL ready. It's just because of his age. Skill wise, he's NRL ready. He's playing again this week, and I bet you he'll play better than Ryan Couchman.
Mm, 1 meters. Okay, so that'll be another disagreement there. Um, and the coach, Shane Flanagan, pretty comfortable, I think.
Who did you go for? Bentakora and Ryan
Uh, I put Ryan Couchman because he's played more games and has shown more than Takuri's two games in a row. So I think it's kind of unfair that I
Who you
picked
taking as coach?
um, Shane Flanagan pretty comfortably. Um,
I'll go Shane Flanagan as well.
I don't think that's
Yeah, it's a
an
no-brainer.
issue. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Kevin Walters, I've already expressed my feelings about his son. As a coach, I'm surprised he's not sacked. Um, and that will wrap up episode 2 of Take the Two podcast. That was pretty fun. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I liked it. I think we're going to turn into a series. So if you guys have any suggestions of which teams you'd like us to do a combined 17 on next, leave it down below. It can be all-time teams, it can be current teams. Love to hear your thoughts.
And that will wrap up episode 2. As I said, if you like the video, make sure you subscribe and don't leave without putting your notifications on so you get updated and notified each time we upload. Our TikTok and Instagram handle will be in the description below. And yeah, have a good day, guys. Peace.